Hey there everybody, Eric from Outer Limitless coming at you today with another video. Now there's no doubt that Olight is a company whose products I've looked at in quite a bit of detail. Everything from their handheld flashlights to their awesome camp lights, even other sub-brands of Olight like O-Knife and all of the above. But today we're going to look at one of their newest products. I'm totally pumped for this, Osight. Now at this point, Olight has entered the optics market. They have an open reflex sight, and in this particular case, the green dot version. Now there's a red dot and a green dot version of this. Personally, for me at this point, I do find that I prefer the green dots when available, so Olight provided me with a green dot for this test. So what we're going to do today, we'll open this up, we'll take a look at it in detail, I'll run you through the features, then we'll get out to the range for some practical shooting experience, and I'll come back to the studio and give you my final thoughts. And so with that said, I have a whole bunch to do and a whole bunch to share with you, and if you're interested in seeing a little bit more about what I'm about to get into, do me a favor, stay tuned. Now, before we get too far, I would like to say thank you very much to the people at Olight who did provide this for review. And so as we get into this here, the Olight Osight. Olight's first dabble in the sight department. Now, of course, Olight is no stranger to weapon lights. They have a number of weapon lights on the market, and we've taken a look at a whole bunch of those on this channel. But today, getting more into the optics side of things. Now, this is going to be interesting. You've probably already seen this if you've been paying attention. A lot of reviewers already coming out with reviews for this and some certain pros and cons. The first pro you're going to see, we should find that this has a nice large window. The other pro being an awesome charging system, which leaves this very flexible, and the ability to actually charge your optic, keep it fully ready to go on your handgun and in your storage, safe storage, whether you use a lockbox or something like that, it should really provide that opportunity. Now, I don't think I'm going to have any problems, because one of the criticisms that I have heard is the charging cover. It kind of has trouble with sights that are, call it suppressor height sights. And you'll notice here on my SIG P322, I don't even have a rear sight. So that's going to be a non-factor. But do keep in mind the fact that some people have found that their sights or rear sight heights have been a problem for this charger. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Olight is making an adjustment for maybe what they're going to consider to be the version 2.0 or something like that. But as we get into this here, just a quick little unboxing. Olight always doing a fantastic job with their packaging. And here you can see the Osight. Really, really nice. Fantastic presentation. And right out of the box, you can see just how large this optic is in comparison to my existing optic here. You can see it absolutely dwarfs my existing optic. This here being the actual charging case. And you'll see the further we get into this, this actually just fits right on top, magnetized. And that's what actually charges the optic. So that's very simple. It's kind of sucks itself onto there with the magnet, making contact right on top here. So that's simple. Sometimes these optics, if you've seen other models, have somewhat of a solar panel to help with charging. But in this case, this actually allows you to literally charge the optic in between every use. So that will be a pretty cool test. Typical of Olight, leaving little messages. Thank you for being part of the Olight family. Your support is why we do this. Enjoy. The user's manual. Charging cable for the case, and you'll see this is a USB Type-C rechargeable port right here. Elevation and windage adjustment key, and then the key to install this onto the slide. Simple little bag, which is kind of interesting. Cleaning cloth, which I get, but I guess why the bag? Probably just to simply keep your charging cover in it, which whatever. I mean, that's cool, I guess. And mounting hardware, which this is so useful. Thank you, Olight. Thank you. look at how nice this is. You have this sweet little case. I need this so bad. This is great. Your M3.5, M4.0, number 440s and 632 screws. And then inside here, they're just like laid into this little foam. This is such a cool little thing. I love this. Great job. This alone is just thinking, and I love that. And so for my field testing, I wanted to leverage my Ruger PC carbine. Now, I was originally going to perform this review on the handgun and also on the carbine, but the people at Olight do seem to be making a slight adjustment and change to one of their mounting screws and kind of put the handgun side of things on pause for a minute. So while we're at it, I do have the green light to move forward with the carbine. So you can see here that I do have some pick rail both on top of the receiver and then also on the handguard, which means I will need to go with an RMR 2-pick adapter, which here you can see very simple plate. Pretty much at this point, this will mount up directly onto here, thread down. It does have a couple of little indexing pins, which that looks like everything's going to line up absolutely perfect. I will be torquing this down. I will be adding a little bit of blue Loctite to make sure that this is sound, and then just leveraging a simple Torx bit to get this entire thing mounted onto my rifle. So I'm not exactly going to show that due to the YouTube kind of weirdness and what it means for modifying your firearms, which these days putting an optic and mounting it on camera can be considered modifying your weapon, which to me is crazy. But so I will do that, and then we'll get out to the range. And so, all right, guys, there you have it. A look at the Olight Osight. Now, all in all, what do I think? Generally speaking, I definitely want to like this. I think there are some great features. First off, I like the size. I like the overall flexibility. You saw me try to mount this on my handgun at first. I didn't have quite the right base plate for it, so I did end up going with the rifle. I love the fact that you can add this right to a pick rail, no problem. Very simple. Adding that pick rail adapter and getting it mounted onto my rifle. Now you'll notice at first I did have it forward on the handguard. That's pretty much because I do have a takedown version of this rifle, and when you split it, sometimes there could be problems where if you mount it on the receiver, you end up kind of losing your zero a little bit. I haven't had too many problems with that, but I did want to try to mount it on the handguard at first. Now, I did find when I was kind of looking out at distance, I had a little bit of a double image, and I still kind of do. This optic to me is not quite as clear or crisp as other optics out there, at least the way I shoot. I do tend to use both eyes open with my optic, and in this particular case, there's a little bit of a ghost image. I'm not going to say it's blurry, and I'm not going to say it's completely blooming, but there is a little bit of a ghost dot that inhibits my view from pure clarity. It can be a little bit deceiving when you're looking out at the target. It's kind of distracting, and for me, it definitely took away with my ability to super focus right on my target and have extremely tight shots. Now, all in all, do I think it's a problem? It's not too bad, but it's definitely something worth noting. But I like the fact that it's a nice large optic. As I look through this, I really can focus past all of the housing, no problem. Looking straight through the glass, I can absolutely be target acquired, which is nice. And the fact that that dot is nice and bright, and I love the green. You can get this in red, you can get it in green. I'm personally a big fan of green dots these days. I really like it, and you can definitely adjust the brightness if you need to. It does have that auto brightness feature, which seems to work very well from what I can tell at this point. And I love the charger, the fact that you can get this charging, put it away, and you don't need cables. You don't need to take the optic off in order to charge this. It's very simple, and you can keep your optic topped off, which is absolutely fantastic. I think for Olight, really taking their first step into the optics market, they're doing a great job, and they're absolutely on the right track. Are there little things that I think could be changed? Yes. I'd love to see a version 2 where they tighten up on that dot, get rid of a little bit of the blurriness. I haven't heard anybody else talking about that, but if you really look at it, there's absolutely a ghost image of a second dot in the optic, and when you really try to get this tight on your target, that ghost image gets tighter and tighter and closer together, and really does sort of inhibit your view. So I think these will improve over time. Again, I'm glad to see Olight dabbling in this market. I think it's a great way to get started. They've done a generally nice job. So overall, I can say I like it. I just think it needs a little bit of improvement in the long run. And so again, thank you guys for following along. I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you so much to the people at Olight who did provide this for review. If you like what you see here today and you want your own, take a look in the description box below where you can find all of the relevant links. And if you like this content, do me a favor. Take a look at my Outer Limitless channel, which is more on my primary gear. On that channel, I cover everything from hiking, camping, and backpacking excursions, all the gear that goes with it. So from sleep systems, shelter systems, knives, axes, backpacks, flashlights, you name it, that's my Outer Limitless YouTube channel. So all right, guys, thanks for stopping by. I hope you like what you saw. I hope you found it a little bit informative. If you like what you saw, please like, share, and subscribe. And as always, thanks for stopping by. Take care now. I'll see you soon.